The scent of lilies choked me as Curtis slammed the photo on the altar. "Explain this, Grace." His voice cracked like ice underfoot. The image, a grainy shot of me tangled in sheets with a faceless man, burned my retinas. My throat closed. "That's not. I didn't." "Save it," he hissed, eyes glazed with betrayal. Thelma, my stepsister, stood behind him, tears glittering like knives. "I saw you," she whispered. "You broke his heart. Hi, loves. If you're new, welcome to my chaos. To my returning warriors, thank you. And to those still lurking, subscribe. Your support fuels this messy journey. Now grab wine. This story isn't for the faint-hearted. I was the girl who had it all, a diamond ring, a loft in Chicago, and Curtis Walsh, the kind of man who made waitresses spill lattes just to watch him smile. Our love was a fairy tale, until Thelma rewrote the ending. She had always been a storm in silk, my stepsister. Dad married her mother 6 months after mine died. Thelma resented me for the inheritance, the attention him. But I never saw the grenade in her manicured hands until it blew. The proof was flawless. Fake texts from a burner phone. A photoshopped image of me and Curtis' college buddy, Jake. Thelma even mimicked my perfume to seduce Jake into lying. "Grace begged me," he told Curtis, voice trembling. "She said you were inadequate." Curtis believed every word. The night he threw me out, rain soaked my wedding gown as I clutched a positive pregnancy test. Thelma stood in the doorway, haloed by porch light. "Run," she said, "or he'll make sure no one believes that's his." I ran. For 5 years, I raised Ethan in a Nebraska trailer park, scrubbing toilets while Thelma played my replacement. But secrets don't stay buried. And mothers? We become feral when cornered. What would you do if your life was stolen? Comment below. I read every word. And don't forget to subscribe. The real drama is just beginning. The Nebraska wind howled like a scorned lover as I scrubbed syrup off a diner booth, Ethan strapped to my chest in a thrift store carrier. His tiny fists gripped my hair, his hair jet black like Curtis. Every tug was a reminder. "Order up, Gracie." Marjorie, the diner owner, slid a plate of grease-slicked pancakes toward me. Her eyes lingered on Ethan. Social services came by again. Said the state don't like babies near grill fumes. I wiped my hands on a rag stained with ketchup and desperation. "I will work nights. He will sleep in the back." "You're sweet, hon, but I can't risk it." She pressed a $20 bill into my palm, the ghost of pity in her crow's feet. That night, our trailer's heater died. 2 jobs turned to 3. I mopped office floors while Ethan slept in a janitor's closet, his breath sinking with a hum of industrial vacuums. On Thursdays, I sold plasma. The nurse frowned at the bruises on my arms. "You gotta eat, honey." I would laugh. "Calorie-free diet. It's called rage." Thelma's Instagram taunted me from the library's public computer. Curtis, sharp in a tailored suit, cutting the ribbon at his new downtown gym. Thelma beside him, her hand possessive on his arm. #power couple. I would slam the browser shut, my reflection warped in the black screen, a ghost with fire in her eyes. Ethan's first word was mine. He said it while clutching my cheeks as I sobbed over an eviction notice. Smart kid. Winter of his 3rd birthday, pneumonia pinned us to a charity hospital bed. His fever spiked as I sang our song, the one Curtis wrote for me after our first fight. "Grace, Grace, full of light." A nurse paused in the doorway. "You got family who can help?" The monitor beeped. "No." "Men always bolt, huh?" She add just Ethan's IV. I stared at the snow bleeding down the window. Some get pushed. Thelma's wedding announcement came via spam email. Curtis Walsh v. Thelma Grant. A love written in the stars. The venue? Our original church. Ethan traced the screen. "Pretty dress." "It's my dress," I whispered. His sticky fingers smeared the pixels. We take it back. The monitor light bled blue over his face. Curtis' stubborn chin. My mother's eyes. Yeah, baby. I shut the laptop. We take it all back. Chicago's skyline stabbed the clouds like a crown of glass and regret. Ethan pressed his nose to the bus window, breath fogging the world into a blur. Is this where I am from? Yes, I thought, and where we were unmade. The taxi dropped us at a motel reeking of bleach and burned coffee. My old keychain, a silver C+G heart, dig into my palm. Curtis' gym was 3 blocks east. I dressed Ethan in his only clean shirt, my hands trembling. Stay close, okay? He nodded, clutching his dinosaur plushie. Are we gonna see Daddy? The question hung like a guillotine. Iron V Fire Gym gleamed in chrome letters. Curtis' laugh boomed through the open doors, raw and familiar. He stood shirtless, demonstrating a deadlift to a group of women. Thelma perched on a weight bench, her diamond ring catching the light like a wink. Ethan darted inside before I could stop him. Look, Mama. Treadmills. He sprinted toward the nearest machine. Thelma's head snapped up. Her smile curdled. Grace? Curtis froze mid-rep, the barbell trembling. Hi, Curtis. My voice sounded foreign, a relic. You've expanded the place. He wiped sweat from his brow, eyes darting to Ethan. Who is the kid? Thelma slithered between us. A bastard, probably. You always did collect strays. Ethan hid behind my legs. She is mean. Curtis crouched, his gaze softening. Hey, buddy. What's your name?
Ethan.
Ethan what? Thelma's stiletto cracked against the floor. Curtis, we have meetings. Ethan Grace, I blurted. A half-truth, sharp on my tongue. Curtis stood slowly. Grace. Not yours, Thelma purred. Right, sis? Later, at a diner, Thelma cornered me in the restroom. She yanked my hair, her reflection snarling in the mirror. You think showing up with some brat will change anything? I twisted free. He is Curtis' son. She laughed, reapplying her blood-red lipstick. Even if he is, Curtis will never believe you. Not after the video. What video? Her smile widened. The one you sent him.
Drunk.
Naked. Begging Jake to ruin you again. Ice flooded my veins. You're sick. And you're dead here. She flicked a fake tear. Leave tonight, or I will call child services. Orphanages adore sickly boys. Back at the motel, Ethan slept fitfully. I scrolled Curtis' Facebook, photos of him and Thelma hiking, laughing, our song lyrics in a caption. Grace, Grace, full of lies. A knock. Jake stood in the doorway, hollow-eyed. I tried to warn you, Grace. She paid me to lie. But the guilt. I can't. Paid you? He handed me a USB. Security footage. From the hotel bar. The night she drugged you. The screen blurred. There I was, slumped over a cocktail. Thelma, smirking, dragging me upstairs. Jake followed, shoulders slumped. She said she would kill my daughter if I didn't play along, Jake whispered. I am sorry. Ethan coughed in his sleep. Will you tell him? Jake asked. I gripped the USB like a blade. Not yet. The motel's flickering desk lamp cast shadows over the USB drive as I plugged it into my laptop. Ethan slept soundly, his stuffed dinosaur tucked under one arm. The screen glowed to life, revealing a time-stamped video from the night that shattered everything. There I was, slumped at the hotel bar 5 years ago, my head lolling as Thelma slid a cocktail toward me. Her smile was venomous. Drink up, sis. You're stressed. The footage cut to her dragging me down a hallway, my limbs limp. Jake trailed behind, face ashen. Then a hotel room door. Thelma shoved Jake inside. Make it convincing, she hissed. My stomach lurched. Jake hadn't touched me. Thelma had staged it all. The next clip was worse. Security footage from Curtis' gym parking lot, dated 2 weeks before the wedding. Thelma, wrapped around Curtis' best friend, Mark, their kisses frantic against his truck. Mark pulled away uneasy. Curtis can't find out. Thelma laughed, cold and bright. He'll never believe her over me. Not after the video you helped me edit. Mark ran a hand through his hair. This ends here, Thelma. She gripped his collar. It ends when I say, or Curtis learns you've been skimming gym funds. The screen went black. I called Jake at dawn, my voice raw. Why didn't you tell me about Mark? He sighed. Thelma is blackmailing half this town. She paid Mark to doctor the photo of us. The texts. They were his idea. He's good with tech. And you let her frame me? She threatened my daughter. His breath hitched. But I kept copies of everything. Check the USB's last folder. I clicked. Bank statements. Thelma's payments to Mark. And a voicemail. Jake, it's Thelma. Ditch Grace's phone in the river after you send the texts. Curtis needs to think she's guilty. I found Thelma at our father's grave, her Louboutins crushing fresh lilies. Pathetic, she spat. You're still visiting a man who chose me. I stepped into the sunlight, phone raised. The audio of her voicemail blared. Her face paled. You think a recording changes anything? Curtis loves me. Does he love Mark too? I threw the gym footage in her face. She lunged, but I gripped her wrist. You're done. I will burn your lies to the ground. Her laugh trembled. Tell Curtis and I will ruin Ethan. Foster care is brutal for sick kids. That night, Curtis texted, Meet me now. He stood in the gym's empty lobby, the C+G logo peeling behind him. Thelma said you're lying about Ethan. That he's Jake's. I handed him the USB. Watch it. All of it. As the footage played, his jaw tightened. This can't be real. Thelma drugged me. Blackmailed Jake. Slept with Mark. She's been gaslighting you for years. He staggered, gripping a weight rack. Why didn't you tell me about the baby? You didn't answer my calls. Changed your number. She made sure of it. Ethan's cough echoed from the motel monitor in my pocket. Curtis' eyes snapped to the sound. Is he? The door burst open. Thelma stood, wild-eyed, a baseball bat in hand. You bitch. Thelma swung the bat at my head. I ducked, the wood cracking the mirror behind me. Glass rained down as Curtis grabbed her waist, pinning her to the floor. Stop. What's wrong with you? She is lying. Thelma thrashed, her screams echoing off the gym walls. I did it for us. You were always mine, Curtis, not hers. Ethan's faint cough crackled through the baby monitor in my pocket. Curtis froze. Is he sick? Asthma, I said, voice steady. From living in moldy trailers while you built empires with a liar. Thelma clawed at Curtis' arms. Don't listen. She's enough. Curtis stood, pulling out his phone. A DNA test request glared on the screen. Swab Ethan now. Thelma lunged for the door, but I blocked her. Running won't fix this. The results came at dawn. 99.9% match. Curtis Walsh. He collapsed onto the gym floor, the paper crumpling in his grip. I threw you out. I believed her. You broke me, I said, Ethan asleep in my arms. But I rebuilt. Thelma laughed bitterly from the corner where Curtis had cuffed her to a treadmill. You win, Grace. But he will never love you like he loved me. Curtis stood, tears cutting through his stubble. I never loved you, Thelma. I was just empty. Police sirens wailed outside. Thelma's smirk faltered as officers stormed in, Jake and Mark trailing behind with evidence files. Thelma Grant, an officer, barked, You're under arrest for blackmail, fraud, and endangerment of a child. She spat at my feet. This isn't over. It is, I said. Curtis begged forgiveness on his knees that night, his tears soaking Ethan's clothes. Let me fix this. Let me be his dad. I watched the sunrise bleed through the motel blinds. You can visit. But trust? That is a longer rehab. He nodded, kissing Ethan's hair. I will earn it. Both of you. 1 year later. The gym sign now reads Grace and Son. Fitness. Curtis trains single parents for free. Thelma serves 3 years. Her Instagram now a mugshot. Ethan runs to Curtis every Saturday, yelling, "Daddy," like it's a victory cry. And me? I've learned forgiveness isn't for the weak, it's an armor. To my incredible viewers, if this story clawed at your heart, drop a comment. Tell me what shocked you most. Did Thelma deserve worse? Should Grace have forgiven Curtis? Debate below. New here? Subscribe. You've just binged a saga. But oh, honey, I've got decades of twisted tales waiting. Love you, mean it. Now go smash that like button, share this drama with your squad, and remember, secrets always surface. Sometimes with a Louisville slugger. Your comments literally keep my lights on. Tell me what you want next. Revenge stories? Forbidden romance? I am all ears.